Thank you to Manscaped for being a sponsor of Secret Friends Unite and Co-op Mode. Go to manscaped.com, use code SFU, and you'll get 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Thank you, Manscaped, and on with the show. Welcome to Co-op Mode, round 103. This is the official video game podcast of Secret Friends Unite. This is only one of our podcasts, folks. You can sign up for our podcast feed, the SFU Network, and get all things Star Wars with Holocron Chronicles. You can get Star Trek through Code 47. You can get SFU Prime for all things nerd, and of course, the podcast you're listening to now. Leave a review, and when you're done listening, watch our podcast so you can see who's actually on our show. You can see our faces, our backgrounds, and all the fun that we have, and the reactions when I inevitably say something dumb. And thank you very much for that. Now, I am one of your hosts, Todd Oxtra, joined by, oh my goodness, our first guest ever on Co-op Mode, who's been now here. This is his third time. That's Mr. Lee Alexander Navarro from the Phoenix OverDrive Nation.
Hi. I'm back. I came back. I think it was like maybe a little bit over a year ago now that I was last on the show with my wife. So it's been a while, but I keep tabs on you guys. Make sure that you guys are okay in your Discord. You guys aren't screwing it up over there.
Yeah, the secret is out, everyone. Well, first we got to say, Mark is not on the podcast. We had to delay a day because we had sick kids, and okay, this will work. We had everything set up, and Mark's like, okay, got Finn to bed. We're good to go. And I think literally a minute later, sorry, guys, game over. So
never mind.
He's recovering, and just with the little ones, you never know. All of a sudden, they're good and they're not. So Mark is not on tonight, but he'll be back when we return. So Mark, you and Finn, please get better. Lee, you've got sick kids at home. They eventually get through it. I've got a 17-year-old, and he's rarely ever sick. So you got something to look forward to. Just a few more years.
It's so funny, just the way like kids nowadays, school is such a cesspool of like germs and bacteria. And I think what's funny is, I was talking with my wife tonight how those couple of years where the kids stayed home because of COVID, they weren't sick at all. Mm-hmm. They did not have any kind of like stomach bugs, no colds, no nothing. And everything was great. And then we're like, all right, let's send you back. And here comes all the sickness. Like, our oldest comes home with a cough every other week. It's like a nasty cough, and we're telling our oldest, keep up with your allergy meds. Of course not. Doesn't happen. 12-year-olds, what do they know? No. So they and then I laugh because our 8-year-old, I said, she's more responsible at times than our 12-year-old.
And she's a girl. Sadly, boys are a little bit brain dead as a age.
Yeah. I could say it. We could definitely say it as much. But first, best wishes to Mark and Finn. Hopefully, they do get better. I was looking forward to chatting up our Canadian Red Fox, as I like to call him. But he unfortunately not here tonight, so we wish him the very best, and looking forward again to him coming back next time around and hearing you two all over again. So, but that's sick kids. What are you gonna do? Got to take care of them one way or another, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah. And I just pull back the curtain a little bit. If you're part of our Discord, Lee is the one that kind of keeps us on our toes. He basically makes sure we're actually paying attention to how the things run. We like to have a good time. And Lee's just a guru. He works in IT. He does all of these things, and he's had a Discord group with the Pond team for quite some time. So we appreciate the support, and obviously we support your whole team. You guys do fantastic stuff, and we'll get into that at the end. But you know what? If you want to support kids, and we've got the charity for you. And we'll talk about that because, man, I tell you, you guys do phenomenal events, and I wish I could get there, and that has been a challenge. So,
well, let's aim for that. Let's make that a goal for next year, because next year is going to be a big one. I mean, I always say next year is going to be a big one, but next year really is going to be just an outrageous, phenomenal event already, based on what happened this year and the momentum leading into next year. And we just have so much more planned that we experienced this year, as far as the good things that we said, oh my gosh, we need to do this, and this. I tell you, we're building up already, and I've got a great team with me to plan it all out and to lay down all of these fun events that we've got going on. So we're excited. We are absolutely excited, and we welcome any member from any whatever community, whether it's SFU, Carpool Gaming is big with us. We just have so many involved with us, and we're just so excited every single year.
Yeah, that's Extra Life. Sorry, folks, we've been kind of a little bit vague about that. It's Extra Life. Every year, the team comes together, goes to Rome, New York, and they kick ass and raise money for sick kids. So We'll have more about that, and it's phenomenal stuff. So, Lee, now it's time to get serious. We're going to play a game of buy, rent, return.
Okay.
So we kind of got a little bit off track last episode with Victor Lucas when we did favorite holiday food, and we kind of talked about Canadian Thanksgiving, U.S. Thanksgiving, depending on where you lean. We got off track by like real food, but I'm going to bring it back and talk about video game food. Lee.
Video game food. Okay.
Buy, rent, return. So we've got the Castlevania wall meat. Break a block. Here comes some wall meat. You got to get some health back.
Yes,
that's exactly where you would put wall meat in a wall. Cake from Portal. I told my son this. It was a lie, but it is a cake.
I'm more familiar with the cake. I know what the cake is all about.
Yep. And then BioShock Infinite trash can food. Video games are great by like giving you health items in things you shouldn't eat. You shouldn't eat it, but it's there, so you take it. It's like Skyrim. Yeah. It's all those games. Like, I'll just pick up anything off the floor and eat it.
Oh boy. So are we just picking which one we like the most, or what are we doing here?
Well, it's kind of like, you go to Blockbuster, you some of those movies you'd keep so long, you'd end up buying it. You'd rent the one where you're like, I'm good and go. The return is you watch the first 15 minutes, you're like, what is this trash? I want a refund. I will give it the lowest reviews. So that's what we're doing with these. So of those three, how would you rate them?
I would take the cake from Portal first, because that's the most appealing out of all of those three, to be quite honest. I do know that they refer to it as a Black Forest cake, which I don't mind at all. It's funny enough. I think if you know the YouTuber Babish, binging with Babish. Okay, I think he actually made a Portal cake. Like he actually. Nice. And it turned out looking really nice and tasty, so I definitely would be all about the cake.
Even though GLaDOS made it might have a poison pill in it or something.
You know what? I'm just going to look past that and say, you know what? If I die eating a Black Forest cake, I die eating a Black Forest cake.
That's true. That's true. And she's an AI, so I guess she'd be very precise in her baking and times and measurements.
Right.
The best.
Right. She'd be able to get the correct measurements of everything, like down to the very last tablespoon or teaspoon. I would trust her. I'd trust her.
Okay. Yeah, as you know, baking is more of a science than cooking, because cooking is all about zhuzhing and adjustments, playing it fast and loose. As my wife, who is a fellow Filipina, it's like you ask her, like, what did you put in there? And it's never the same place. Yeah, exactly. It's never the same. It's like, oh, great.
It's funny enough, like, I enjoy cooking. Cooking is one of my other passions, if you will. I'm so afraid to bake, because I know baking, as you said, it's so precise. It's a science. Whereas cooking, it's like, I'll do this. I'll do this one. I'll do that one. I think cooking in general is more for my style than anything.
It's forgiving. And
yes.
you can always improve it. You can always I did a little bit of that last time, but do a little more of this time. And it's the cut of the meat's never the same. It's never, a little bit more fat content or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. It's
exactly
fun.
that.
Okay. Lee, I think you're just trying to avoid the topic here. So you got to rent and you got to return one.
Okay. So I got to rent Castlevania meat. It's meat. That's really all about it.
It looks so delicious, though. It's like the cartoon ham, right?
It's it's a very even though it's like a pixelated piece of meat, at least it's like colored nicely, right? Like let's be honest, it looks more appealing. Whereas just the trash can food from BioShock Infinite, it's coming from a trash, man. I am not a raccoon. I am no trash panda that I'm going to eat something straight out of the garbage. Sorry, not my style.
Well, maybe it's like a Disney World trash can, where like they have the most pristine garbage. They're always tending to it. Maybe that's what it is. Because
possibly,
yeah.
But it's
the BioShock
still
world was
trash.
pretty. It's true. It's still going in with other things.
Right. Exactly. I wouldn't necessarily dive right into it. Sorry. It's just not my thing.
Okay. Very judgmental about the trash can.
I am. What can I say? I think it's because I worked with somebody who I saw them pull out. Like, I'm not kidding. They pulled out like a piece of pizza from the garbage can and ate it, and I was like, "That's just revolting."
Yeah. That occurred in college. We had people that would do that. Yeah.
Well, this occurred at my workplace, and mind you, this is when I used to work in a hospital. So when that happened, I said, "Nope,
no 5-second rule there.
No, and
on that environment."
And he was an employee, so I really can't. He worked in the same department as me.
Did he at least offer you do you want that?
No.
First dibs.
I just totally ignored it. I said, "Nope, not going to bother with it. Absolutely not."
Okay, you've been traumatized by trash can food.
Yes.
I get it. Okay. Well, I'll give you my takes. You know what? I'm going the Castlevania wall meat. I'm buying that. That thing looks so tasty. It gives you health. I mean, there must be a chef that works in the castle. Maybe. I don't know how else it got there, but it's probably magic.
It's the carnivore in you. It's the carnivore in you. So. You just got to have it, And I get it.
So. Yeah.
I mean, I love my meats. I do.
It's good stuff, and it's probably magic. So it's magical. It's not like
it's probably got great magical properties where it won't cause you to have high cholesterol.
No, nothing at all. No calories.
No calories.
It's good. It's good for you.
Doesn't
high in fiber,
high in protein for the diabetics
high protein,
out there.
High in vitamin C. All the good things you want. Yes. Get your lycopene from that. Then I am going to return the cake from Portal because I'm a giver when it comes to cake. I only eat a little bit and I want to share with others. So I'm going to return that so people people can have some more. The other people that are being experimented by Aperture Science can have some too.
Sure. That'll work out.
Yeah. And to your point, I am returning the trash can food. I do have some standards. I think that's only fair.
I think that's a smart choice, Todd. I don't think ever eating anything from a trash can, whether in a video game or not, is actually healthy for you. Let's just put that out there.
Wise words. Wise words. Your children will do well in life.
You should value your health in a way that does not force you to eat food from the trash can. Just saying.
I think there was a Schoolhouse Rock on that. Don't eat trash can food. Yeah. Wow.
If they had to do that back in the day. Oh boy, I question where we are today.
Yes. So folks, we did not cover all the video game food. I was going to put safe things like the Pac-Man Power Pellet, the Mario Mushroom, but those are safe choices.
Right.
If you have other dubious choices that we should have considered, let us know.
Or widening the search there, spinach from Popeye.
Oh, Popeye, yeah. The original NES game that was,
Exactly.
Yeah. Just imagine where we would be if Nintendo continued to get the rights to Popeye.
Listen,
Mario wouldn't exist.
I made a dish last night with spinach. That's why it's probably on my mind.
Did your forearms grow 3 sizes?
I wish.
Gotta love it. Oh, well. Well, now it's time to really get into the meat of the show, and that is what we've been playing, folks. So we actually do play video games on the show rather than just talk about them and food.
Right.
So, Lee, you've been playing World of Warcraft, so I know there is a thing with dragons going on in World of Warcraft.
Yes.
Is that the thing right now?
That is the new expansion. So actually, I haven't gotten into the new expansion yet. My wife and I are actually going to buy it for each other, basically, for Christmas. That's the goal right there. But she and I, funny enough, before our Extra Life event, that's when we said, well, what are we going to play? What are we going to play? And I said, I really want to get back into World of Warcraft. I've been having an itch for it. And it's been about a couple of years, I think, since I last played it. So it's been a few expansions since. And it was just so much fun getting back into it and playing it and just really enjoying what it has become. And, for both of us, we've been through the rigors of World of Warcraft since the very beginning. Since Vanilla WoW back in like 2004 or whenever the hell that was. So she and I are old pros at this. And just to see our preferred character classes, grow from the very beginning up until to where we are today, that's definitely been something that we've enjoyed. So we really just, we're kind of excited to get back into it and excited to see what the new expansion is all about. Basically, we heard you can fly dragons in it, and really, how can you not be excited for that one? So that's something that we're, ironically enough, for my character, I already have multiple dragons that I ride as far as my mounts are concerned. So, but I guess there's different ways that you can control your dragon as you're flying around. So we'll see how this game goes, but I'm definitely excited for it.
Yeah, because I mean, I like you said, there's been mounts and things like that, so it's not a new race of dragons. That's
well,
not a thing, right?
There's another thing too. There is a race of dragons, a new race with a new class, and I'm not sure if I'm going to dive into that portion of the game. And that's the beauty of the game is there's different aspects to it that you can really get into, whether what type of style of play you have, whether it's PvE or PvP. The leveling is a lot of fun. The co-op portion of it is really a ton of fun. Something I'm really looking forward to doing, especially playing with 4 other people. That's going to be a ton of fun going into those dungeons. A couple of Becky's cousins actually are going to be first-time players in World of Warcraft, so it's going to be a lot of fun teaching them the nuances of the game and helping them level up and everything. So we're definitely excited for that portion. But yeah, there's a new race and new classes, a new class, I should say, that you can play with different styles of play associated with that class. So definitely looking forward to seeing what that's about. Like I said, maybe I'll try it out, maybe not, depending. I prefer my main character that I've played since the very beginning. He's been I guess you want to call him my bread and butter. He's my hunter that I've run with for so long, and it's I think that's the part of the game that I still am really connected to, is that this character has been with me since the very beginning, and I kind of have this like affinity for him, just because I've experienced so much of the game with him. Kind of the same with my wife. She has her character that she's experienced so much with, and within the game that it's something that kind of it's like a comforting type of thing. You're playing with a friend, if you will.
Lee, it's funny because when you talked about that relationship you have with the game,
yeah,
I remember when I was in South Korea, I was living remote there in the Air Force. A friend of mine was playing. It must have been EverQuest 2, I assume. That was in 2001.
Yes.
It was EverQuest 2. And he was playing it with his wife, who was in the States. And he was in our comm group. So luckily he had a connection where with our comm group, obviously, getting DSL into our as a test. So we were laying Ethernet cable everywhere. Like we were running up the side of the building, in through his window, through everything. And we were the only people that got it. We didn't tell anybody. So we were running a router, and it was hilarious because it was like we actually had high speed internet, which the rest of the world was in dial up. So he was able to play with his wife and stay connected. So you talk about relationships. There's not many games that have been around as long as World of Warcraft, because beyond that, games are just not evergreen typically like that. So it's amazing. And they still charge you.
Yeah.
It's not free to play.
No, they haven't gone for the free to play model, which, as you mentioned, it's a great connection to, or not a connection. It's a great, it's a testament, I should say, to the power of this game, and that I still have a connection to my character after all these years. And still love playing with that character, still love doing the questing and learning the nuances of the character as they change things between expansions and between patches. So it's definitely been a lot of fun, kind of just getting back into it and really seeing, oh my gosh, this character still has the same type of style of play for me, but at the same token, now I have to relearn. Particularly because I have a hunter, relearn how to do the shots that I use, or how to manage my pets in the game. So yeah, it's definitely different, but at the same time, it feels like home. Playing with that character.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about friendships. It's doing different things. Like you said, there are people that raid, people that just do whatever the hell they want to do and just do their own thing. Playing, starting again, but doing a different class or race. That's where the variety comes in. And like you said, you're not even playing what everybody else is doing, is playing the expansion right now. So you're kind of like getting back into the groove, and you'll eventually do it. And it's something you love with your wife. So, that's awesome. The closest thing I have is Destiny, because I've been playing Destiny since launch, and Destiny is kind of an oddity because not many games like that last either. And that's where I've met a lot of my friends that I've podcasted with. I think if I didn't play Destiny, I wouldn't know you, because I played the alpha with Ray.
Exactly.
That's how we knew each other. And that's how I met Corey. So it's, those games, I don't do a lot of like online gaming or co-op gaming, things like that, but I'll always have Destiny.
Yeah, exactly. And for us, it'll always be World of Warcraft.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, this is so much fun. So that's going to be something I assume you two are going to get into during the holidays when you've got a little bit of free time.
Yeah. Well, actually, definitely during the holiday shutdown, because I'm actually off from work for a week. Because we always shut down for the Christmas season, so that's definitely something we'll be diving into. Unfortunately, my wife still has to work a couple days, but there's going to be a couple of. It's not like we have to really do much of anything, for the kids as far as like school or anything like that. So we'll get a chance to do so in the evenings when when we're just kind of settling in for the night and just kind of taking a moment to just relax, or we would sit at our desks, and if we really wanted to have something, we'd watch something on our iPads at the same time while playing the game. So it's just that relaxation time that we're really looking forward to.
Oh, I totally get that. So, I'm getting so basically Friday is my last day for the new year. I'm going into a new role, so it's very low key right now. Even for me, I'm doing training and waiting, and everything kicks off in January. And it's been funny lately. Like I've been playing games on the couch, and my son's on his PC right next to the couch, and my wife's on the other end because she is playing Wordle or reading or something like that. So it's nice. We're together, and it's
doing your own
fine.
thing, but at the same time, exactly. It's family time.
So like you still are alive? Yeah, you're alive. Okay, good. You enjoy yourself. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's something where it's a good time.
For sure.
Well, very cool. Anything else in gaming? I know you're a busy man.
The only other thing that I've really been, it's become my Zen game, is Flight Sim.
Oh,
I've been just really all over that, and I think what's made it become a Zen game is I actually bought a joystick and throttle for myself to play with it, because I've always wanted to have a high end joystick and the throttle. So I got the Thrustmaster Warthog, which is kind of funny because I'm, using this epic joystick that's similar to the Warthog, and I'm flying a Boeing 747 with it. Or
That's awesome.
Or they actually have in from Top Gun that Dark Star jet in Flight Sim that you can use too. So it's just been like I said, it's just been a Zen thing for myself. Or finding the little, I'm not sure if they call them missions or what, but they're just like the you can select where you want to fly, and they just throw you into plane. And in one instance, I was flying around Mount Everest, and in a different instance, I was in Australia. I mean, it's just been very soothing and peaceful to get into it. So yeah, so Flight Sim has been my other game that I've been enjoying. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of other games out there right now that I have that I could dive right into, that I definitely want to, but at the same time, my gaming time has been so limited that I want to do something that's just peaceful and relaxing and not, stressful to the point where, oh my God, I got to beat this game or I have to get this achievement. No, that has been my thing lately. It's just flying around in Flight Sim, or as recently it's just World of Warcraft, just running around and doing quests. That's pretty much it.
It's funny because gaming, to a lot of people, especially if you're in the realm of doing media or anything like that, or remotely directly related to it, it becomes a FOMO. What's the next big thing? And, trying to keep up, not getting spoiled, especially, story heavy games. It's a challenge. And then you'd almost forget, like, why am I actually doing this? Oh, wait, to have fun and enjoy myself in this hobby. So, and so I've gotten more of the time is probably our most valuable asset, especially as you have kids, because you have so little time for yourself.
Right.
When you want to share with your family, but when you do have time for yourself, you really want to make sure it's worthwhile. You don't feel like you wasted it because you're like, I've got 85 games I don't know what to play, but I spent 3 hours not playing anything.
Yeah.
You want to spend your time doing the thing you do. So I've gotten more of this, like, if a game doesn't hook me in like the first hour or so, I'm probably not going to stick with it.
Yeah.
I just have lost patience with it gets better in 10 hours. Well, I'm like, but why did it have to take 10 hours?
Well, like for me, I started Spider-Man on PC, and I really enjoyed playing it. But I just haven't had the time to get back into it. And I know when I get back into it, I'm definitely going to love it again, but it's just a matter of, okay, I've got so much to do in other regards, that I don't necessarily want to sacrifice doing those things just because I want to play this game. Like, what's my priority at that point? And for me, for prior to November it was all about Extra Life. It was all about planning it and everything. And for us, even though it was nuts, it was still something that meant a lot to us. So, and funny enough, anytime somebody says, "Oh, are you going to play something at Extra Life?" I said, "Yeah, if I get a chance," just because there's a lot going on. I mean, just as a quick anecdote for us, this year at Extra Life, we had a networking issue where not everybody's device was connecting properly to the network, and even though they were hardwired, and myself and our technical our technology person, he and I, we were sitting there going, well, duh, it's because the router is using up other IP addresses are being used for the other devices throughout the school. So we're really only limited by what we have. And we had so many people there with so many devices. So of course, what we needed to do was create a new subnet so that we can hash out 255 IP addresses all over the place. So we ended up having to configure on the fly, getting one of my routers from home and doing that. So, all of these little issues that come around during the day, it lends to the busyness of it, where we don't get a chance to necessarily sit down and play a game until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And at that point, it's like, oh, I'm so tired. So,
well, Lee, you actually were playing a game. You're playing the network IT simulator game, like
pretty
that
much.
PC builder game or lawn mowing simulator. So that's what you got to play. But you enabled other people to play. So you ultimately, if you didn't do what you needed to do, then other people wouldn't be able to do what they wanted to do. So, maybe someone will repay you the favor. So they'll watch your kids for like a week. And
well, funny enough, the week after Extra Life, the weekend after Extra Life is always technically my wife and I. It's our anniversary because we got married on November 10th. So the following weekend is always like the weekend where it's just the two of us. And this year was just we sat down and we played games, we hung out, we watched TV shows. That's basically what the reward is all that crazy busy moments, and it leads up to that. That's basically where we're at, is that's our reward for it.
Yeah, it's a balance. It can't be all fun. It can't be all games. It's a balance of that, and it feels so much more rewarding when you have to do it. So totally
absolutely.
Yeah. So for myself, Mark was great. He's great at getting codes and different things from developers. So he got me a code this week for SwordShip. This is it's Thunderful Games is doing a great job of just picking up mini games that they don't develop anymore. They do develop their own games, but they also develop they publish a lot of games for other smaller developers. So this week, I played SwordShip by Digital Kingdom. Thunderful Publishing provided the code, and I played it on Xbox. This is a really fun game, Lee. This is like an old school arcade game.
I've seen it before on Steam. Yeah,
it's just really cool because it's if you think about it the way it is, you're basically almost looks like you're in a speedboat on the water, but it's almost very stylistic, almost like a futuristic spy hunter in a way, where you are trying to avoid getting killed. You really have no offense, and your best defense is letting the other ships, turrets, or whatever, destroy each other. Like getting close when they're lobbing bombs in a specific area of effect. You want to stay there as long as possible and then go under the water and get away so they will destroy each other. And the only thing you have to do is survive long enough and pick up cargo, essentially. You're trying to line up and get the cargo, and everything is just doing it at the right time, because if you get too greedy, you're going to run into something. If you wait too long, you're going to get hit by something. And it's definitely a risk and reward type game. And it is definitely like an old school arcade game. I know they call it roguelike now, but this is an arcade game. Get as far as you can get on one play, right?
It's funny you mentioned Spy Hunter, because that's actually what I thought of when I first saw this on Steam. It's just kind of harkened back to that a little bit. But that it does seem very interesting to play. So I might have to catch this on a Steam sale of some type down the road. I'm definitely going to put it on my wish list.
Yeah, it does the thing, though, where it's so quick to reload. It's one more try. You get so far, and if you get enough of the points, because it gets to a point where you're supposed to get so far on one play, and you can use it towards getting an offensive weapon, like an EMP, or you can do something different. So it's really taking your strategy of how you like to play and doing it. My son was watching me like, "Dad, you're so horrible at this." And it's true, but I was having a good time. And it is one of those games where you can just give it to anybody and they get it pretty quickly.
Exactly. I love games like that, because it just sometimes it feels like it takes such a long time to get into a game, right? You're playing something, or you're planning to play something, and it's this big story-driven narrative that you're really looking to get into, and then you get into like the beginning phases of it. It's like, okay, when does it pick up? Whereas like games like this, it reminds me there's another game that I really just enjoyed diving into it, because it just felt like you could just turn it on, or get it loaded up and start playing. It was My Friend Pedro.
Oh yeah.
To me,
definitely.
that is such a fun game to play. Or for our purposes with our family, Overcooked. Overcooked 1 and 2. It was just load it up and get going with it. Or PC Building Simulator, as And people make fun of it, but there is a certain fun to it that I think those who are in the know when it comes to PC building, you will know right away why it's so much fun, why it's so addicting to play.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, games like that, I absolutely adore them because you just, like I said, you just get right into it and just go.
I tell you, Lee, when we built when my son wanted to build a PC, he funded it with his job and everything. It was the smoothest it's ever been to do one. Everything went well. You obviously led us in the path of how to get a good OEM license.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah, everything went great except it was funny because his friend had a license that didn't work.
Yeah.
So I needed to find another license, so that worked.
Yeah.
But it was just like everything else. You get usually the prompt or your RAM's not seated correctly or something like that. But yeah, this one worked great. Everything was good, and he's been so happy, and it's super quiet. Wonderful PC, and I actually need to probably use it.
There you go. Get on there and start playing. I mean, I tell you, the way PC gaming is today, at the video cards that are coming out today, it makes these games run with so much ease and so smooth, and just you just get right into it. I remember there were issues in the past when it came to sometimes a game would stop loading or it would just crash in the middle of everything, and that was because maybe the game wasn't optimized or you had to find an issue. But today it's just instant. It is so instant to just get right into it. And I absolutely love it.
It's so much easier. Everything works great. There's so many services now. Gamepad support's super easy. Mm-hmm. Steam big screen mode makes it feel like a console. Yep. Cloud saves, which I just really want everybody Cyberpunk now has cloud saves between cross saves, which is fantastic. Witcher has cross saves coming, which is great because I want to play that as well again with the new things. So all these things are fantastic. I just need a reminder that I could use his PC. That's right, because he used mine for how many years, and now I can use his. I shouldn't feel guilty.
No, you shouldn't.
I shouldn't. No. But the point of trying something and knowing if it's not for you, that is the next game I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
That is Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Okay.
So I got that on Xbox. Gamefly sent it to me. I am not traditionally a turn-based fan, a tactical fan, or a card-based fan. This game is all three of those. It's by the developers of XCOM. I mean,
right. I was going to say it's developed by XCOM. Firaxis Games, and it's to me, I love XCOM. To me, XCOM was the epitome of turn-based strategy games, just because you had so much going on with it. But go ahead. I mean, what are your experiences with this?
Well, so I got into it. So I think what they do a good job. So this is basically the Midnight Suns is a group of Marvel heroes that lean towards the dark side. This is your Ghost Rider, your Blade, your Magic from the X-Men, those characters. So it's got some good elements. So it's going to be a supernatural game. Doctor Strange is involved, but also Iron Man's involved, and Wanda Maximoff is involved. And it essentially, you've unleashed Lilith, the dark demon, and Hydra unleashed her, of course. Mm-hmm. So she is out to do bad things, as those would do. Right. So they introduced the combat in a pretty easy way, which is essentially it's turn-based. You are not limited in your move locations. Like typically in XCOM, it's like you get three moves and like a more of a grid-based style. They don't have that. You move wherever you want. Okay, but good. You are, so the only thing you're limited is in your cards.
Right.
Okay? In your tactical viewpoint, which is basically you have to actually be able to hit the enemies, which most tactical games do. Meaning you can't be not in line and hit points. And part of it is because if there's areas of effect and things like that. So one of the moves is Doctor Strange will do a vortex. And as he does it, it will hit one player or one enemy into another player or enemy. They just have to be in line to have that impact. So it has that. And you also have environmental damage. So there'll be a rock. So you can throw a rock, do different things like that. And you can also get cover from damage as a hero as well. So it's probably more akin to the new Mario Rabbids game in regards to that, where they kind of limited a lot of that extra difficulty. And then you can play it in like a story mode, which is like limit the difficulty, just have a good time, or you can make it extra difficult. What they don't do is like permadeath, because you can't really kill Marvel heroes permanently. It just doesn't work. It's like DC versus Mortal Kombat. Superman cannot be fatality'd, right? It just doesn't work. Yeah. So it works pretty well. Now, I'm mixed on the style of animation. It's okay. It's not bad. It's just not great.
Yeah.
But the voice acting and the story, there's a lot of it. So if you're there for like, and that's what this game apparently has. I didn't get really too hard to it. Is relationship building, and it's going around the Doctor Strange's Sanctorum. I'm blanking on the name. His lair, and you can go and build relationships and things like that, which then adds into more deeper relationship with the characters. So that's part of the game. You add in new characters as you go on, more abilities. But the thing that annoyed the hell out of me was the cards. I don't like cards because I feel like, especially in a game like with the Marvel Hero, it's almost saying, why does he only have one ability? This is Doctor Strange. He can do 85 things.
He should be able
by the
to.
Cards. It's weird. It's a weird thing where it fits. It doesn't feel like the license fits. Kind of like the Avengers game, where it's like, oh, here's a spine for Hulk because you had to do something in Avengers because you have to give him like gear and stuff. It just doesn't make any sense. So you would basically get like 4 cards, and you would then choose, and you'd get so much points, and some are defensive and offensive. And some you don't have enough magic to actually use them, so you can discard and get a new card. But it was unclear, and I'm sure it'll be like you can earn more cards and do different things.
Right.
But for me, I just grew impatient. I'm like, I'm getting bored waiting because I'm like, I know what I need to do. I can end my turn, go around, wait to get hit, and then once again, I'm getting like Captain Marvel, who is like one of the most ridiculously powerful characters in the world. She's getting 10 hit points from a Hydra agent. And I'm like, it's a weird thing where I'm like, I'm still trying to understand. I mean, I get it if it's like an ogre that's uber powered, totally get it. He's doing it. But a dude with like a machine gun is causing her damage. I just like, okay. And these battles are going to take a long time because it's like you get 3 down, more reinforcements are coming in. I'm like, I just don't have time for this. Yeah. And it's like supposed to be a 30 or 40 hour game. I'm like, it's just not drawing me in. So I'm like,
it doesn't fit your schedule, and it doesn't fit your style that you're looking for a game like that. But you know, it might be one of those games where you play it for a little bit, put it away, play it again for a little bit, put it away. You know, you build into it, you get right into it. So I get it. Definitely, as far as like the time is concerned for you, because like we've already alluded to, time is precious for you, for anybody really, especially in our age group of being parents and everything. You know, it's very limited. But yeah, no, I can understand why it wouldn't grasp at you.
I mean, I could see this being a mobile game pretty easily. I mean, I didn't think it was that a demanding of a game. It's not like a high-end looking game. The effects, there's like not really physics really to it that it would like, oh, it requires these. So I could see this be a mobile game where, put it down, come back to a battle, put it away. So I think this is going to be, and a lot of people are loving this game. So I think it's for a specific type of player, or maybe this might be your first. Or it might be your first game that you're like, you never tried it before and you love it because the Marvel license brings you in. And you're like, I didn't realize I like these games. It's like Lee, the South Park games. I don't love turn-based RPGs or tactical games, but those games know what they are. They don't waste your time. They don't make you grind. They basically will get you through the main story in 20 hours and you'll have a blast. And they changed up the first game from just being a standard turn-based to they added some tactical, like, where you sit in your tactical position. And I love those games. And I'm like, man, I just wish more like those type of games existed where it was like, it's a 20-hour game. That's it. We're going to get you in, get out. It's a great experience. And then if you want more, here's 60 hours of side quests.
Exactly.
Enjoy.
Exactly. Well, it's very rare that they that the games today really can just catch on to a person, I guess, in terms of like the general style of play. For every individual, it's not always going to catch on to you because it may not just be your thing. But as you alluded to, maybe because you're a Marvel fan, you'll get right into it, or maybe because you're a turn-based fan, you'll get into it, or the card games. I know a lot of people enjoy, Hearthstone and Gwent and things like that, and this could scratch that itch for them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Inscription was a game where I don't like card-based games, but Inscription was phenomenal, and I don't.
Right.
But they brought new things to the table and mechanics and storytelling that I'm like, I really enjoyed that. And good. I think so. This game, I think, because it's coming out when it is, it's not a great time because so many big games. So I don't know if it's to its detriment. I think this would have been a perfect January game, to be honest. But I hope it does well because I think their intentions and the way they handle the characters, I think
it worked.
This could really do a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see. And then lastly, I'll wrap this up. I played a demo for Spoken. It's on the PlayStation 5 right now, just released. I don't want to speak too much to it because it's the demo. I'm going to probably play the game despite the demo. So that's kind of like your precursor right there. Because it's a demo that drops you in 20 hours in.
Okay.
So it's you've got too many powers. You don't really know what you're doing. Drops you in. And it's a very limited demo. I liked parts of it, but I felt like the demo didn't help its cause. But I do want to try it from the beginning because it's written by Gary Whitta. It's got some other really talented people on the game. And I was pleasantly surprised by the way it looked and played. But I won't say more. But if you have a PS5, it's the demo's out right now. Give it a try. And maybe it intrigues you. But I think it's going to turn off a lot of people, to be honest, which is sad. But I'm optimistic. Maybe there's more there for it, but the game I really want to talk about was God of War Ragnarok.
Yes.
I've talked a few times about this, but I finally finished it. 38 hours, and that is me primarily doing main line.
Did you mainline the whole thing? I was going to say, did you do sides or? Okay.
I did a few and this is the funny part about it. And Lee, you'll just get more and more of this as your kids get older. Your kids are going to get better at you than games, and they're going to play the games you like before you play them and before you finish them. So my son did that. He completed the game. He did the cardinal sin, didn't play the first game, and just got right in. I'm like, what? So I'm hoping he'll go back and play the first game. He absolutely loved this type of game, and it's not his type of game he loves. He's not a big story based gamer. He loves mechanics. He spent 80 hours in Terraria. He just loves the mechanics of games, right. Plays deep. He's playing The Sims right now, which is very weird. I'm just looking at him right now. This is very odd. Very odd. But he's he loved the game, and he played it on the hardest difficulty. So once again, making me look like a fool because I'm struggling at regular difficulty, getting mad. I'm like, why did they do that so cheap? And it's
right.
Dad, I played it. I get one hitted and I die. I'm like, okay, great, son. But I was so impressed by his take on the story, not having the first game, making and just being aware of all the different callbacks and the different storylines. Very impressed, and it meant a lot to be able to talk with him about the game as he played it. And what do you think? Right. And he would say, Dad, I want to talk to you about this. So we had a blast. And I think we're going to do a special segment where we both talk about the game on a future just segment for a podcast. Which will be a lot of fun. Because I think that'll be well worth it. But and it's one of those games where, and I don't want to get into spoilers at all, but it is great that once you beat the game, you can go and still go back and do things.
Right.
Like the first game did.
No, that's good. That I love how like you said, kids are going to get better at us, right? Our kids are going to be better at us in these games, and it's so funny because one of the staples of our house is hockey on the Xbox, and both of my kids are still trying to get one past Dad.
It's still coming.
They're still attempting, and it's so funny. Our oldest just always saying, "Can I just practice just a little bit, just so I can? I really want to just practice." And I said, Go ahead. We'll see when that day comes. It will come. Not sure
today.
when, but this is not the day. This is not the day. And I remember the last time that, I played hockey with them, and boy, they just got so frustrated because I just kept on scoring at will. And I said, I'm really not even trying, guys. I'm really not. You guys aren't giving me much of a. You're
taunting them. They'll remember that, Lee. Just what they need.
You know
just
what
they need is you have a scoreboard. You're gonna write it on the board.
Exactly. I want them to remember
score like Dad 25, kids 0.
Exactly that. Exactly. I take pictures of the score. I take a picture of it on my phone and I send it to their phones. I said, "You will remember this." Or another one. Yeah. Or another one is StarCraft, especially for my oldest.
Oh,
StarCraft is like the one that they. There was one time, I think it was they're playing the Terran race on there. So I said, okay. So I watched and I said, all right, let's play. So I play Zerg. I usually.
Oh no!
I'm very dirty with the Zerg. Now, of course, I didn't Zerg rush. What I did is I actually
that's what I thought you were going to do.
I didn't Zerg rush. What I did is I built up a Zerg army, which consisted of like Zerglings and Hydralisks. But I got to the point where I was able to build up my Ultralisks army. So the whole screen was full of like the big Ultralisks. And then what I did is I built a Nidus canal or Nidus worm or whatever they're calling that. I can't remember it. And I transported all of my units right behind the base. Didn't know what to do at that point. I said, this is why you don't taunt me in StarCraft. Because I do things like this and I feel awful about it for a second. And then, now I'm good. So
yeah, your experience and wisdom is well worth it. And then their reflexes and unlimited time to get better is definitely going to get to you eventually.
It's just so funny to see the reaction saying, how do you have 4 bases already? Because that's what I do. That's the style of play that I've developed over the years, and something to be said for experience. And I funny enough, I use it as a metaphor for life in general. I said there are experiences that your mother and I have had that, guess what? It's going to dictate to us how to handle you as you grow older. And hopefully you learn the lesson.
Kids.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully you learn the lesson. Learn the lesson.
We weren't parents forever. We weren't born to be parents. We were born to be silly kids and have goofy experiences. Yeah. My experience was Smash Brothers, where my son just taunted me, just made me feel like and when I would win, Lee, I mean, the occasion that I did win, I was the worst winner in the world. Like I was like acting like an idiot. Yeah. And I realized that was to my detriment because it was like, but I had to enjoy something. I had to savor something because the fruits of victory were very lean.
Right. No, absolutely. I think my 2 can take me on Smash now, though. I was never the best at Smash.
Oh,
I mean, let me put that out there. I was never really good at it. So if I played either one of my children today in Smash, I think they could take me. Pretty sure they would take me.
I would hope I would still do well in Tekken because that's my game. That's my fighting game.
Yeah.
But that could probably be, my hopes and dreams being shattered.
Mortal Kombat was my fighting game of choice growing up. And I think I can't remember which Mortal Kombat it is that was on Game Pass. It was earlier this year. And 10? It's 10 or 11, one of those. No, I think it was 11. I think it was 11.
11? 11. I think
it was 11. Yeah, I love 11. And of course, I playing Cabal. Cabal was always my favorite when Mortal Kombat 3. So I learned Cabal, how to play Cabal, the style and everything. And my whole family we had a King of the Mountain style tournament, within the house. Nobody could knock me off that pedestal only because I just cheesed it.
You did the spin.
I did the
run
spin,
past spin.
And then the thing from the ground, everything, and I just kept tying in every combo I could, and boy, they did not like me for that one.
Oh my goodness, I could talk about Mortal Kombat for some time because I would love to find folks who grew up in the arcade era and talk about that, because that was my going to the bowling alley and playing Mortal Kombat, and where nobody knew what was going on because there was no internet, and you had to figure out, oh, he knows a fatality. Oh crap, I'm going to spend 85 quarters and figure out a fatality.
There you go.
Crazy times, crazy times.
Yep, oh, I remember those cabinets, man. They were a ton of fun.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that is what we've been playing, but you know what? Something that you need to play at and get really good is grooming. And that's where Manscaped comes into play. We want to thank Manscaped for being a sponsor of Secret Friends Unite. And Lee, I don't know if you knew this, but they are the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Their performance package for the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. That includes the weed whacker, the lawn mower, and many accoutrements in regards to your crop duster and your crop preserver to make sure you feel nice and clean after you do your grooming thing. Yes, I rhyme in this ad.
That's a fantastic ad.
Oh my goodness, it gets better. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trusted Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code SFU at manscaped.com. 6 million men, Lee, with myself, Mark, and Charlie, and my head. That's approximately 12 million and 7 balls being serviced. So, folks, Christmas time is coming. Santa Balls is ready to get you a gift. You just have to let him know what you want. So please tell Santa Balls, code SFU. Manscaped will then get them what they need, and you will get care of your grooming needs, because a groomed geek is a happy geek. Thank you, Manscaped.
I applaud that ad so much. That is a great ad read. I applaud you, Todd.
You know what? I appreciate Manscaped, and I want to give it my best. That's all I can say.
It's perfect. Just perfect. Oh, that was amazing.
Well, very good. Very good. Well, Lee, it's time for the bonus round.
Yes.
And at this point, the bonus round, we don't always do like topical news events. Sometimes we do wacky things. We talk about various things. Last week, with Victor Lucas, we talked about kind of like what we wanted the Game Awards to be, or what could the gaming awards really be, what segments and categories we'd want. But now it's what we actually got.
Right.
Were you able to watch it all, or just get the highlights from it?
I did not watch it, so let me preface that with I did not watch it. I barely got any kind of news out of it, I guess, just because it was last Thursday?
I think it was last Thursday. It started at I think it started late, and it ran over 3 hours.
Yep. So I did hear a few things were released as far as trailers and things of that nature. But I'll let you guide the way, I guess, if you will.
Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of a weird snapshot first.
Okay.
So just overall in the Game Awards. During the Game Awards, we got 32 awards. We had 35 reveals and trailers. Yep. We had Al Pacino on stage. Al Pacino at a Game Awards introducing the best performance.
Interesting.
How crazy is that? Yes. And he could not read the teleprompter. So he just said, I can't read the teleprompter. My kids told me to show up. I don't know how much they paid him. It's crazy.
I would never guess Al Pacino would ever be on a Game Awards. That's just okay.
And it's funny because Mr. Badbit, Joseph Moran, and Kyle, Mr. K-Step, they're having the Trophy Room Awards. And they're doing a fantastic job. And
they are.
I said, at a minimum, they need to have Robert De Niro on the Trophy Room Awards. So challenge is out there for Mr. De Niro. But we got a couple good performances. Halsey showed up for Diablo 4.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Holy crap. She looked awesome. Did a great job.
I heard about about her performance. Yes, I got to catch that because that did pique my interest, especially being related to Diablo 4. That's one of my most anticipated games for 2023 already.
Yeah, and Halsey's just a really cool performer because she doesn't really give a crap, and her songs typically drop F-bombs in them, which is like, if you're a pop singer, you typically don't do that if you want airplay, but she's great.
There you go.
A great performance by Hosier with Bear McCreary, doing basically a song from God of War, which I didn't know it had any lyrics, but it was beautiful. And Lee, he was playing this instrument that almost like it was like a weird, like turning, I don't even know what type of instrument it was. My son could probably tell me, but it's got like a turning crank, and it's almost like a stringed instrument, but it was a beautiful, beautiful performance.
Okay.
Yeah, it was neat. I definitely recommend watching it just because it's like, I didn't expect it. So it was really well, I guess a restraint performance, but beautiful as well.
Okay.
With the background of God of War going on with the Game Awards Orchestra. And that's what I would say, a shout out. Game Awards Orchestra, they were phenomenal. One of the standouts was this dude who played these instruments that I know existed. One of them was it was like a flute that was weirdly shaped, and he was just having a blast. Yeah, he was just having a blast. He was having a good time. They did a great job. They get to play a lot of the songs, so I'm glad they had that. We also got Animal from the Muppets, who showed up. Yes. He presented best performance, like musical performance or soundtrack. Reggie Fils-Aimé showed up, which is great.
Okay.
Because Reggie's always great.
I always love Reggie. Always love a Reggie sighting.
Yep. Keegan-Michael Key showed up. He showed, this is funny, because he's Toad in the Super Mario Brothers film, which obviously looks great. And it's funny because they're like, we've seen trailers, but he's like, it's the first clip. So I'm not sure what the difference between a clip and a trailer is, but it was good. But he was great. He went all in on like, is Toad, is that really his head? Is that a hat? What is it? So he played it up. He knows gamers. He had a good time. Then we got Ken and Roberta Williams showing up again. These are godfathers of gaming with Sierra, with King's Quest, things like that. They showed up. Right. They announced an award for a game for change. And then the last really big, showing of like just a non, like just something that was showing up to do something was Kojima. He showed up, announced Death Stranding 2 or DS2, stood on stage a lot of time, didn't say much. And Jeff Keighley was just, fawning. So that's kind of like the extracurricular work there, Lee. Okay.
You know what? There's with the Halsey performance and that other performance, it sounds like it sounds like they're adding a little bit of an entertainment aspect to the Game Awards instead of just trailers and an award ceremony. It's good to see that they're improving it and adding something different to kind of keep you engaged in the show.
Yeah. I mean, really, and those were the highlights of it. I mean, the biggest challenge we saw at the Game Awards, because it doesn't really know what it wants to be. Does it want to be like just gaming news and events and things like that? Yeah. Or does it really want to be an award show where it's bringing the prestige story, the developers, the people that make the games, highlighting them? So to give you an example of what that means is there was 32 awards and 35 reveals.
Interesting. Okay.
In 3 hours. That's this thing had and it was a pace that you just wouldn't give up. So this wasn't like there was a lot of downtime either. It was constantly like, and there was a pre-show and the game itself. So it's like, when is this thing going to start? Oh yeah, Sidney Goodman's doing like awards before, and there's reveals there. Yeah, it was crazy. So and I had my son's band concert, so I didn't get to start from the beginning. So I kind of started in the middle and then worked my way back. So, so he got to see some of it too. But I would say the biggest takeaway from this, and I just want to get into like the winners, because there was 32 awards. I think only about 7 people were actually allowed to come on stage. Okay. In regards to like a presentation, and there was someone that came up and accepted an award. Right. The rest, Lee, it was all, here's a category. I might say the 5 people who are nominated, and then I'll say who won. Some of them were not even that. It was, here's the award. They didn't
Here's
even
the
mention
winner.
any of the win. They didn't mention
Yeah.
anybody in the category, and they said, "Here's the winner." They didn't have anybody come up for most of those.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it doesn't know what it wants to be. I think you should just really they should look into the whole thing of what are we? Are we a game show or our game award show? Are we an extension of, I guess, November E3, if you want to call it that?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to be talking about future releases, I'm sure. But that is something to definitely look at. If I was the crew behind it all, is what am I? What is my purpose?
Yeah, because there's really no. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think kind of keeping this as an award show, we don't have many of those when it comes to this industry. So I think honoring the different studios, the different performers behind the voice acting, the music, the development, everything like that. I think it could really help this industry by allowing us, the casual viewers or the viewers and the games media to know the people behind the scenes, and equating it almost to like how we look at Hollywood. So that could definitely help them out in the future if, giving them an idea of what type of pace to have for this type of show. That's just my 2 cents with it. Because if, as you said, how many, 30, 35, 32 awards, and how many were presented on stage?
Very few.
Yeah.
Very few. I will call out Christopher Judge. I mean, if you want the winners, I won't go through all of them here. I mean, because there's so many different categories within this, and so many I didn't even have an understanding of who. Like, once you get to the esports, the up and coming people, things like that, it's just like it's out of my wheelhouse. I don't know who that's for, and almost all of those awards, they didn't even show us who those people were or what they do. So it kind of becomes even like they're not really doing much to help those people get noticed or build an audience, which is a shame. But Christopher Judge won like the first award, and that was the best performance. Al Pacino was on stage way too long. And then Christopher Judge got up there for like almost felt like 12 to 15 minutes. It was great seeing him on stage, but I felt like probably to the detriment of other people who were represented because they didn't get the time they probably wanted. And then we got people that got no time on stage. So it was a weird dichotomy of it. Like, I don't know how they chose who got to be on stage for certain things. Obviously Game of the Year was, but
which I heard was interrupted.
And that's another thing that's like, I typically would say, well, what was your biggest, moments of the night? But obviously, since you didn't get to watch, we won't do that. But yeah, I mean, we had a person get on stage and interrupt Game of the Year. This young gentleman, we don't know much about him. He was arrested, and had said something about Bill Clinton rabbi or something like that, which I don't understand. I don't know if it was like he knew what he was doing, if he was fooling his mind, or he meant to do something that was anti-Semitic or not. I don't know.
Right.
I don't really know. But what if something bad happened, right?
Yeah, all I heard was some 15-year-old got on stage and he was arrested because he interrupted the presentation for Game of the Year. But that's all I heard about it. I didn't. There wasn't a whole lot as far as who he was, what his intent was, and everything. It just happened, and that right there too is a pretty weird thing to just happen at a Game Awards show.
Well, it's scary, obviously, because I remember what happened to Monica Seles. Monica Seles was at a tennis match, playing in a tennis match. Someone came in from the crowd and stabbed her. And I was thinking, like, what is to stop something like that from happening? And obviously, the developers of Elden Ring won the award in From Software, and I think they were just confused. They didn't know. They didn't come. People were like, "Did they come with you?" I don't know. What's he doing?
Exactly, and that's the thing is like because you don't know, you don't necessarily know how anything is happening, and you might think this might be part of the show.
Is it a stunt?
Is it exactly? Because I mean, I'm sorry, but video game award shows, I would tend to think some type of stunt could occur.
It might be Jeff Keighley's son. We don't know.
I don't think it was his son. He was awfully pissed off.
I don't think so
guy.
either. No, I don't think so either. But that's, I think, a good point to say this is Jeff Keighley's baby. He has to do the balance of making money. He's made commitments to these people that are going to bring trailers. They paid to be there, and he's got to put on a good show. It has a lot of eyes on the prize.
100% that.
So I mean, I totally get it that this is a challenge. I wish he would partner with GDC.
Yeah.
Let GDC manage the awards portion. Jeff Keighley brings the sizzle. Yeah. And do that balance, right?
Absolutely. That would definitely be for his benefit, in my opinion.
Yeah. And GDC it's about the developers choosing their peers.
Right.
Not media, not, you know, and this, the Game Awards has gotten a little bit of controversy because like people think it's bought and sold by Sony, but it's actually like a group of 50 or 60 media groups and reviewers who are making the nominations, who are choosing. There are some things that are public voted on.
Yes.
Like some weird ones, which are like most anticipated game, which is just the most dumbest award.
It's a silly award. It's like,
truly is.
Yeah. It kind of makes you go, it's just stupid. There's no other way to really phrase it. It's a stupid award.
Yeah. Because it's ultimately just a popularity contest, really.
Exactly.
Whoever gets in votes for it.
Exactly that. It is a popularity contest, especially, like I said, with most anticipated game. You can have 50, 60 different games that you're anticipating for the following year or the year after, because you don't even know if it's going to release that following year. How many games were canceled for this year that were supposed to come out this year? Looking at you, Starfield.
Yeah. And Zelda Tears of the Kingdom won it. And I think that game has been up for this award multiple times anyways, because that game gets pushed out. So it's just a weird one. We're not going to hit on the winners because that's there. It's there. The amount of different categories are odd. Mm-hmm. Some of them I don't understand, like best indie versus best debut indie. It's just weird. It's like I don't even know how you choose. And when I voted, I had to vote for everything, even if I was uninformed, which is dumb.
Yep. I
shouldn't have to vote for something I don't know anything about. So I think there's improvements here, but I would say the highs were great.
Yeah.
And I just want more developers to be shown and a better balance of awards and trailers. That's all I want. One trailer, one award. And I don't know how hard it is to do, but that was not the highlight I want. So Lee, from there, I will go now through what was actually announced and revealed at the Game Awards. And I'll go through these pretty quickly. And you tell me like, stop, tell me more, or move on. So I'll rely on you to be the person that is the voice of the people.
The driving force for this segment. Go ahead. Okay, absolutely. I'm ready for this.
So Death Stranding 2, that was announced with a weird trailer.
That's what happened the last time around. It was announced. There was a weird trailer associated with it. So, keep going.
Hades 2.
That one's got me intrigued. I did enjoy Hades. So that's got me a little bit of intrigue with that one.
Yeah, definitely surprised. Supergiant has not done a sequel, so this is the first time. And Hades was huge, and it won Game of the Year. So that is a big thing for a lot of people. I suck at the game, but I truly see its genius.
Exactly.
Final Fantasy 16 got a release date, which is June, which many people don't believe. And
I don't think so either. But
it got a big trailer, which people are saying looks like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I get it. It's Final Fantasy, but at the same time, I think I'm having Final Fantasy overload.
Yeah.
Because we're still waiting on, I guess, the final parts to the remake, to Final Fantasy VII remake.
7-2 remake or whatever they're calling it. Yeah. The rebirth.
Not saying that people who like Final Fantasy they shouldn't be able to enjoy it. It's just, for me, all I want is just the additional parts to the 7 remake. That's all I want.
Yeah, exactly. Because we got Crisis Core that's coming out. Then we've got 16 and we got 14 content. Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of Final Fantasy if you want it. Yeah, to me, it's like when I looked at the three, I'm like, it doesn't, nothing stood out to, as a person who's not into the series that says, oh, I want to check that out.
Yeah, exactly. Nope, I'm 100% with you on that one.
Wow. And then a blast from the past, Armored Core 6, Fires of the Rubicon.
Yes.
This is from Software. There hasn't been an Armored Core in like 10 years, and those have never been critically acclaimed games, but From is in a different space now. So I don't know. I don't know. People seem to be excited about it, but I'm like,
I mean, I guess it'll be nice to have another mecha-based video game from them. But like you said, it's never been highly successful or critically acclaimed. So, okay, all right, something to check out. I think. When is it? Is it supposed to be released when? When did they say? Sometime in 2023, I think.
I don't think they specified specifically the date.
Yeah.
It's probably 2023. There was a lot of games, though, that are like, we're coming early 2023, which is just crazy after so many games got delayed.
Oh, God. 2023 is just going to be insane already.
Exactly. Which leads into Street Fighter 6 gets a release date. That's also a 2023 game, which this looks to be the most robust Street Fighter game ever.
Yes.
I suck at those games, but it could be fun.
I'm sure it'll be fun. Street Fighter has always been a ton of fun to play with. But like you said, it did seem very new, is what I like to call it. It did seem new. It doesn't seem like it was a rehash from previous Street Fighters.
No, 4 and 5 felt very similar. This one feels
very
like
similar.
It's doing more like the Create a Fighter. It's doing some things. You can actually like unlock other arcade games within it. And that's pretty cool. And it's a beautiful looking game. So,
yes,
why not? And I know 5 kind of fell off a cliff because it was exclusive to Sony. Yep. So I think people are excited about this one because it just looks beautiful. And wow, I mean, just I'm ready to get beat up again by Street Fighter.
There you go.
Cammy, come at me. And no, folks, I don't know if Cammy's in the game. I can't tell you.
We don't know.
We don't know. We'll find out. I'm sure everybody's back. Judas from Ken Levine. This is the creator of BioShock, BioShock Infinite, System Shock. Holy cow. This game looks like a BioShock game, and I'm all in, but it's in a different, it's almost BioShock in space is the best way to put this game.
That seems interesting. You said Ken Levine is the director for it?
Yep. And it looks, like I said, Lee, it looks very BioShocky because you've got a power on one hand and then you've got something on the other. And then it looks very like the people in the world look a little bit weird. Yeah.
I'll give him the benefit of doubt because, I mean, he's quite known for creating these narrative driven games, right? Mm-hmm. That help to, where you can explore a lot of different themes, a lot of different ideas. And his art style is pretty definitive when it comes to the type of game that the games that he's put out there. So this will be interesting, especially with how BioShock the trilogy, or BioShock Infinite and the first BioShock, how they've become part of our gaming history. So
they get brought us trash can food.
Yeah, that's the only regret. Call back to the it's the only regret right there. Well, as my microphone decides to fall. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, and it's been like 10 years, so it's time. They're going to make another BioShock game. 2K is going to do that separately, but this is his studio, so I'm interested with there. So we're probably going to do a little bit more of a quicker pace on these games. Crash Team Rumble, it's this weird like beat 'em up kind of MOBA game with Crash. Didn't expect it, but the fun part is, Lee, Crash Bandicoot showed up in his like costume and shouted out like the old commercials when he was taunting Nintendo. It was weird. And nobody wants this game, but it's coming.
This is going to be interesting. Is this a 2023 release as well?
It's a 2023 as well. Yep.
Oh boy. Okay. Yep. All right.
Well, we don't want to talk too much because Mark will kill us if we take away his steam on this one. Star Wars Jedi Survivor got a release date. This is coming out in March. Looks beautiful. I don't know what else to say. I'm just stoked. I'm just stoked on this game.
Well, it's technically the sequel, right, to Fallen Order?
Absolutely.
So right there you go. I mean, Fallen Order was just a lot of fun to play. It really was.
Absolutely.
It was just perfect.
I just hope they fixed the map. That was my one thing. I thought they did a horrible job with the map. I'm like, guys, fix your maps. But
well,
great game. Yeah, and it's canon.
We can blame EA, right? We can blame EA for the maps.
Absolutely, blame EA. And actually, the main actor showed up and showed up with a lightsaber.
Nice,
very very cool. Yeah, that's cool. Stoked on it, and he's got a beard, so Mark's excited because he likes. I can be him because he looks like Mark. Yes. Diablo 4 got a release date. Once again,
that's the one right there.
June release date. Many people don't believe that. We're hearing things about crunch and things like that. Blizzard Activision is a little bit of a crazy place to be right now, but when a Diablo drops, it's a big deal.
Well, listen, that trailer, I did get to see the trailer that was put out, and I tell you, I am excited. I am hugely excited, and I think it's a callback to the Diablos that we know, that the first Diablo, going into hell and everything. I'm very excited for that. That's around my wife's birthday, so I think I know what she's getting for her birthday gift.
And this is going to be day and date console, which normally doesn't happen, which is great because they've done a great job of doing mouse and keyboard and controller, which I think a lot of people appreciate. Yeah,
I do. I definitely do. Having played Diablo 3 on both console and PC, I can see where both were. It was a ton of fun to play both. We played on console with Ray, and he had this monster character with like Paragon 1000 or something like that, and every time we killed something, we'd like level up like 5 or 6 levels. And it was just things were dropping left and right. We're going, oh my god, our bags are full, hold on. Gotta do this, gotta do that. But yeah, definitely.
I feel bad. I never beat the expansion Diablo 3. I feel so bad. I really need to do that. So that's going to be my goal. Like, do that before the next one drops.
That was Do you have it on PC or do you have it on console?
I updated. I built a new PC for Diablo 3. That's where I was at when that game came out originally. So yeah, I just need to have a PC that'll actually be able to play it. So once again, my son
exactly
update.
And you know what?
When Blizzard account on his PC
exactly, and we'll play. I'll play with you. I
remember trying to play I remember the net code was so bad the first in Diablo 3. God, it was like I was playing with Sean, my friend Sean Nias. We were playing together. I'm like, this is horrible. So I am excited to play more. I've never played with people in Diablo, so I feel like a noob. But
there you go.
I've always enjoyed it.
I will use my Demon Hunter with you. Or my whatever, you have to
carry me because I've carry you so long. I don't even remember my class. I probably did not level up enough and do those things. So yeah, more to come, folks. This might be something we'll talk about in the future.
My wife will bring in her wizard. There we go. We'll tag team it.
Very very good. So we probably have to expedite our pace here a little bit.
Let's get our list.
Suicide Squad Kills Justice League gets a release date. It's coming out May 26, 2023. Rocksteady. The big part about this was it's been revealed this is going to be Kevin Conroy's
going to be in there. Yes,
role of the Batman. Very cool. Yes. This was a big surprise. You know what? I will not doubt Rocksteady. Is all I'll say. Bayonetta Origins gets this weird spin-off, Cereza and the Lost Demon. It's coming to the Switch. It is definitely not the same game, and I have not played enough in Bayonetta 3, but apparently there's like a part of the game that's this focused, but it's more like an action-adventure game. Yep. Good for the Switch. I don't know. People aren't exactly excited about Bayonetta 3 right now. Hellboy, Web of Weird. This was totally unexpected. Looks just like the comic book, and we've never got a good Hellboy game, so I'm optimistic.
Yes. I'd definitely be in on that one.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just going to be like a brawler or what it will have, but I'm hoping we get more with it, more from it in the next couple of weeks, and we can learn more about that. Earthblade. This is by the creators of Celeste. This is more like them doing their Silk Song or Hollow Knight.
Yeah, it's a platform game from what I read.
Yep, action platformer with combat. Yeah. Yep. The one that was really surprised, Crime Boss Rockay City. Lee, this looks like Grand Theft Auto with all of the stars from the 80s. Kim Basinger. We've got Michael Madsen. The people in this game look crazy. And I'm like, how did they do this? How did they get all these people in it? It looks super fun and dumb. I mean, Michael Madsen came on stage for this. It's just weird. It's I don't know.
For some reason, I thought Michael Madsen was already dead.
He's still kicking. He's still good. Thankfully, he's okay.
I think I think I associated him and Ray Liotta together. That's probably why.
Probably, yeah, because Ray Liotta was in Vice City. So there we go. The trailer that just confused me the most was Transformers Reactivate. I saw this trailer.
Yes, I saw the trailer too.
He thought it was Titanfall. I don't know what this is.
It seemed like it was, I don't know what it was trying to do, but the trailer itself didn't give you a whole lot, except it's a Transformers game. So what's it going to be?
And those are 50-50 at best.
Yeah.
I loved the Cybertron games.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's more of that, if this is going to be a first-person shooter type of Transformers game. I don't think we've ever got one of those.
No. Nope, not to my knowledge.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Then a game that really impressed me, Banishers Ghosts of New Eden. It's essentially you are someone that helps spirits, good or bad, find their place.
Okay.
And the trailer did such a great job of you're basically sitting at this table with this woman. There's somebody else talking to you. And then you realize the person you're sitting at the table with is a spirit that is walking with him and experiencing the game with him.
Interesting.
Wife. And he actually will, and he hasn't banished her yet. So this game has, but the mechanics are more like action RPG.
Right.
In a sense. And it looked really interesting to me. And it's from Don't Nod.
Okay.
And if you ever played the game Vampire,
yes, I played
like
it
that
on
game a lot.
It was on Xbox. I played that on.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think this could be a really good game, but it's the execution could go wrong, but could be very, very good.
Yep.
Let's see. Then we got a trailer for Immortals of Avium, our new series by the creators, like they mentioned, like Gears of War, Bungie, Halo, all these different things. And it's like what they showed was a cinematic that showed nothing at all, except it's like magic focus. That's it. So the worst things you can ask for. Remnant 2. I don't remember Remnant 1. I think Remnant 1 was like a Soulsborne with shooting. I can't remember, quite honestly. The trailer looked really cool, though, because it's got a lot of like gunplay with really big bad demons and things. But once again, I don't know if it was gameplay or not.
Yeah, I don't even recall that as a title. I'd have to look it up and see what that was about. I may have seen it, but at the same time, it doesn't sound familiar to me.
Remnant from Ashes. Yeah, that was a game that was in that Souls, but they decided to go with like gun combat versus like melee or something like that.
Yeah.
So
again, nope, not in my scope.
Yeah, not in my scope either. Then I'm going to skip one because I don't remember anything about After Us. I think it was more of like a, I don't even remember. I'm going to go to Tekken 8 though. Tekken 8. Tekken is my favorite fighting game of all time. It's why I got a PlayStation 1. And I just loved it. So I'm excited for this. It looks beautiful though. Cyberpunk 2077. It's got a renaissance. Phantom Liberty is the paid DLC coming to next gen only. Idris Elba.
They had to bring somebody in like Idris Elba for this one.
Well, somebody's got to take on Johnny Silverhand, right?
Exactly. I was going to say, yeah. Okay.
So we'll see how that goes.
I still have to finish Cyberpunk. I still have to finish it. That's still on my to finish list.
That's when my PC died, is when I was playing Cyberpunk. Because I couldn't play it anywhere else because they didn't offer cross play anywhere or cross save. They have it now, so which is good. But yeah, I want to play that game because I've only gotten so far in it. But I haven't even seen Johnny Silverhand yet, so I'm screwed. But yeah, that's coming. I'm happy for people that love that series, and maybe I'll get to it. Like maybe we'll both get to it.
Exactly.
Then we got Horizon Forbidden West, their Burning Shores DLC. They did it last time with the Frozen whatever. If you're into Horizon Forbidden, the Horizon games, that's coming.
Yes. Yep.
But the game that really made me excited was Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. I love Space Marine 1.
Yep.
It's a really good,
it's going to be a fun. I think that's going to be a fun game. So, your third person hack and slash game. That's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, with shooting, hack and slash, lots of gore, really cool area of Warhammer where often their games don't deliver. That one definitely did. Lord of the Fallen got some gameplay. That essentially is a reboot of the Lords of the Fallen, which was one of the first Souls-like games that came out. Which means it's probably not for me.
I'm still waiting for the day that Bloodborne comes to PC. So that's when you're gonna.
That was not announced. Leaf, sorry,
shocker.
That was not announced. I know, and we don't have like the next gen port or 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
Oh well, Sony apparently is doing something, and what they're doing is bringing The Last of Us Part 1 PC port.
Yes, that one This is where I'm probably going to lose a lot of my video game cred. I have never played The Last of Us on my PlayStation. I have it. I tried it. It didn't sit well as far as my enjoyment factor of it. Mm-hmm. But I think maybe playing it on PC, which it shouldn't matter where I play it on, right? Like let's just put that out there. It shouldn't matter. But for me, I feel like I may be more immersed in it when it comes to playing it on my PC.
Sure.
I just feel like when I played it on my PS4 and it was up on I had a 55-inch TV, the works, right? Yeah, it just didn't grab me. But I have been asked by our good friend Sean Capri to give it a shot again. And I said I will, and I think doing it on PC, I think that's where I will find enjoyment in it. So
I had the same thing with Witcher 3. I tried that on PlayStation.
Yeah.
The text was too small. I can't deal with the menus. Yeah. So I played it on PC. I fell in love with that game. So I totally get it.
I get it.
Where you play can sometimes matter.
Exactly.
That's why people love the Switch. It's not the best. This is not the best performance, but it's where they want to play. So
exactly.
I totally get it. Yeah. So yeah, awesome. I'm glad it's more ways to play that game is excellent. Returnal is getting a PC.
Returnal is also getting a PC. And yes.
The thing that made me laugh is the rumored recommended specs is 32 gigabytes of RAM. I'm like, what the hell is this game? Because I played it on PlayStation. It looked pretty good, ran pretty good on PlayStation. Why would it need more than? And that only has, I think the PlayStation 5 does it have 16 gigabytes of RAM? I think it does.
Possibly. Let's see. Yeah, 16 gigs of GDDR6 SD RAM.
So unless this is an 8K and needs to run at 240 hertz, I don't know. That's a bizarre. It might just be wrong, but regardless, I definitely recommend that game, but it is not a game for people who don't like a challenge.
Yeah. Nope. I saw Ray playing it one time, and I can definitely say it can be definitely a full-fledged challenge to any gamer. This guy, but like you said, though, it's still funny. 32 gigs of RAM to play it. Okay.
Flight Simulator doesn't even need that. Come on.
I mean, not that I'm going to sit here and say I can't do it. I have a 64 in my gaming rig, so.
But that's such a small percentage of most people.
Exactly.
It's just crazy. It's just weird. 8 gigs is typically the barrier of entry.
Yeah. I mean, I tell people if you're building a gaming PC, start with 16. So, but yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Moving on.
Yeah, it's very weird. Baldur's Gate 3 gets a release window. That game has already been in, that game has already been in like it's early release. It's in the whole thing was like, yeah, your progress won't carry over, which is just it's kicking the junk to most people. But that game is a lot of people's forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
Not for me. But hey, I totally get it. Baldur's Gate is one of those heritage CRPGs that just is a beast.
Yep. Historically, there's definitely a fan base for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm glad that we get those still. And people always say, why do I need a PC? Well, there's certain reasons why you do need a PC. So very, very glad for that. I'm going to skip Blue Protocol because I quite honestly don't even remember what that is. Replace, though, is a game that is made by Ukraine developers. This is the best looking pixel game I've ever seen in my life.
Interesting.
It's wonderful. Okay. It's so cool. It looks like Blade Runner with pixel art, but it's big pixel art in a ambitious way. It's not just like doing a pixel platformer like a Celeste or something like that. It just stands out in the way it looks. I'm not even sure about the gameplay, what it's going to be like, but I cannot wait. And this game is coming to Game Pass, so we'll all get to play it. And it just really stood out to me, which is cool.
Right.
And any game that gets made by people from the Ukraine, holy cow! How do you do that?
Yeah. In this day and age, how are you able to do it?
I mean, they have no internet because Elon Musk apparently says we're going to charge you for that internet, folks. You get there. Do they even have power? Because yeah. Oh my goodness, it's just crazy. Another game that I've never played, but I probably should eventually. Among Us. It's a hide and seek mode.
Yes, there you go.
It's on everything.
It's fun. It is fun. I enjoy it. It's a great game to play with like family.
Absolutely. It's like everything Ultimate Werewolf. It's just like who did it? Who does it? Who's the bad guy? Love it. Yeah. Fire Emblem Engage is getting DLC even before the game drops, and it's dropping day one, which is weird. DLC that drops the same day the game does. It's a little sus.
All right.
It's a little sus.
Yeah, very.
But it's Nintendo. They get a pass.
Yeah. I don't know why.
But they do. They do. Yeah. They do, Lee, because they do. Dune Awakening had some in-game footage. This is an MMO game.
It's an MMO. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm just curious how that will do. I'm assuming it'll be free to play because I don't know if there's any paid MMOs, but maybe it could be. Colossal Cave. That is by Ken Roberta Williams. This is one of the earliest games. It's getting remade. I looked at it. I'm like, it doesn't really look like a modern game, but you know what? I appreciate they're still trying to make games.
Hey, listen, you got to do something, right?
Absolutely. And I'm glad they're still around. I love them to pieces.
Right.
And I hope they continue to still develop and people make their dreams come alive in modern contexts. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's art.
Something that was really cool at the beginning was Dead Cells. It's getting Return to Castlevania DLC. I'm not good at Dead Cells, but I just love the fact that they support the game so much.
Content
it's Castlevania.
I didn't think I would like it and I felt like it was a very frustrating game, but it just kept pulling me into it, and I just kept playing it over and over and over, no matter what happened. And I wasn't very good at it, but I still enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, what's your run going to be? What can you do? How far can you go? Yeah, it was like Hades for me. Those type of games.
Yep. Or like Vampire Survivors now.
Oh, which I highly recommend that game to anyone.
Yeah.
Talk about an arcade game. That is a Vampire Survivors. It's free on Game Pass. Definitely play it. It's like $3 on Steam. It's wonderful. They keep giving DLC content and things like that. But the one thing they announced was it's coming to mobile and it's free.
Yes. Yep.
I haven't tried it yet. Have you?
I have seen my friend play it. It was at Extra Life. I watched him play it, and it seems so much fun to just dive into it. So I'm going to definitely take a look at it. Probably more on Game Pass than anything, because I can't play crap on my phone. I really can't.
It's a small screen. Your thumbs are getting in the way. Yeah,
I have big hands. It's very difficult. So yeah,
it's definitely a different experience. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, but yeah, it is one of those games that just feels like it's Robotron in a modern sense with progression, which I think is cool. Yeah. Well, that is it. We've covered everything. Holy cow.
It's a lot of games.
That was a lot. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And I don't even think we have to get to like what made us happy. You heard our comments as we talked about it.
Exactly.
That's probably sufficient. So we're going to do our co-op mode awards in January. We're going to get the whole year done, make sure we've got the time to play all the games. So we'll be reaching out to the community, get their thoughts on their best games, surprises, disappointments, things like that. So we obviously want to hear from everybody when we do ours as well.
There you go.
So with that, Lee, thank you for joining us on this journey in the world of video games.
I'm so glad I got to I'm so glad I got to come on. It's like I said, it's always a pleasure to podcast, but it's always an even greater pleasure to podcast with people that I've known for quite a while. So I really enjoy coming on here with you. I missed Mark tonight, but that'll be for next time.
Absolutely. There's always another opportunity. So this is great. And obviously we're going to have Becky on the podcast in the future as well. Give you the night off so you can actually do some gaming, which is always appreciated. So with that, though, tell people where they can find you on the interwebs and the things you do in the world of gaming.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Lee Navarro, and I represent Phoenix OverDrive, a charity group focusing its efforts on fundraising for Children's Miracle Network hospitals all over through the 24-hour gaming event known as Extra Life. You can find out more about us at phoenixoverdrive.com, or you can go to facebook.com/Phoenix OverDrive, or you can find us on Instagram and Twitter with the handle PHX_overdrive. And for our 2022 Extra Life campaign, we are doing a very special giveaway for this guy right over here. It is a brand new Horizon Forbidden West PlayStation 5 Disc Edition. So all you got to do, $10 donation to us at extra-life.org/participant/Phoenix OverDrive. And that's going to get you one ticket to our giveaway. So for every $10, it's one ticket. The more you pay, the more tickets you get. Get in on it. You get more chances for you to win this beautiful console. Drawing will be held live on Facebook on December 21st at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So check out our page and get in on this action, because all the money that we raise for it, it's going to go to our local Children's Miracle Network hospital here in upstate New York, the Mohawk Valley Health System. So yeah, that's what you can find me and find us and find a team.
Thank you so much, Lee. That's awesome. You guys do such great work. You bring a team together every November. You just have a great time. So many different communities support you.
Yes.
In the tandem, and you are just the godfather of all of this. You and Becky and Ray, you guys do fantastic work. So we appreciate you. We always support you, and we always want to do more and more to come. And
absolutely,
friends, you definitely anything we can do. Streaming will be there. If not in person, at least in mind. The last time I streamed, I did horribly. So I always want some support. And if you want to watch me game and make money for it, would appreciate that.
Exactly. So, there you go.
Yeah. So more to come. So Lee is in our Discord group all the time. If you have any questions about PCs, gaming, upgrades, tech, Lee is your guy as well. So
I'll be there.
Thank you, Lee.
I'm there. Absolutely. No, thank you.
Awesome. Well, for me, I'm at Toxtra on Twitter. Wrapped up my fantasy football league. It was horrible. I was one game away from winning my division, getting a bye. I lost, and I am now out of the playoffs. The fickle fantasy football.
That's all fantasy football for you.
Exactly. Because, when your regular team loses horribly, you got to have something you can get
fall back
about.
On.
Oh, exactly. But other than that, just follow at Secret Friends U on Twitter. Go to our Discord for all things fun, and we're building the group. A lot of Star Trek people are joining the group now. We're having a lot of fun, though. We talk about all of our podcasts there, our group. We talk about what we're cooking, what we're eating, what we're doing. It's always a good time. It's great. So I'd always ask you to join our Discord and just have a great time. So that is it. And also follow the Canardian at @the_Canardian on Twitter. See what he's doing. He's always streaming Fortnite, always having a good time. He is our co-host. He is the best Canardian I know, and you know as well. So that is it for the show. Thank you, folks. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Mark. Get better soon. You too, Finn. And as always, it's always better to game together.
Bye.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. Visit secretfriendsunite.com for more great shows, articles, news, reviews, and more. Secret Friends Unite podcasts are available on Apple, Google, Spotify, and other podcast services around the world. If you'd like to be part of the conversation, you can join us on Facebook or our new Discord server, or follow @SecretFriendsU on Twitter. Please subscribe to Secret Friends Unite on YouTube and visit our merch store at tpublic.com. Just search